Good afternoon. You're listening to Cannabis Corner on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, broadcasting live from downtown New Haven. We're streaming live on TuneIn Radio and NewHavenIndependent.org. We're also streaming live video on Facebook and YouTube. Just go to your Facebook page, look us up, or hit see first to see and hear all the great programs that we have here on WNHHLP. And just a reminder, Cannabis Corner is also streaming live on the Greenhaven Media Facebook and YouTube page and ProCannabisMedia.com. Welcome, everyone. It is Monday, June the 2nd, 2025. Welcome to Cannabis Corner. I am your host, Joe LaChance, Joe the Weed Guy. And I am joined here today, of course, by the one and only Farmer Lou, Uncle Lou. How are you today?
How's it going, good brother? How is it? I'm excited. It's another beautiful day as the summer's coming. It's the beginning of June. It's our summer season. Ultimately, it's a little bit before summer, the end of spring, but it's gorgeous. Plants are outdoors, people are outdoors. The world is moving forward, and, here we are, brother.
Yeah, it's interesting. Everybody, the old adage was, right, you put your plants out at Mother's Day. And I was speaking to Gabe, and I think he even said it on the air. He said, no more. June 1st is when you should put your plants out. And I'm looking at this weather now compared to what we had 2 days ago. And he's right. It feels like it made a complete turn. Like now it really is spring. And because I was feeling like we're still in a little bit of winter there.
That's right. It was cold. It was cold, brother. It was cold.
Yeah, and I mistakenly put my plants, I don't know about mistakenly, but I put them out on Mother's Day. And they've been okay throughout that bad, because we really had 2 weeks of crap weather.
Yes,
But
sir.
one of them looks like it did, I don't know, it's growing like three leaf fan leaves, and some are one leaf. One of them looked like it got into shock or something. I don't know. But the rest of them are okay. I trimmed them up yesterday. They look nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I went and played in the garden yesterday.
There you go.
I'm going to play today, too. I got
As you should. The weather's nice. Go out, do something. Yep. Tell everybody, plant some seeds. Get those little seed starts going. You get tomato plants going. Get your house plants outside by the window. Open the windows.
Yep.
Get a little air in your house.
Oh yeah, I got a big garden this year. I got 8 varieties of tomatoes. I got 4 varieties of peppers. I got a couple of eggplants and tons of herbs. Yeah, I'm really practicing growing. I think everybody. It's a skill that our ancestors had. My grandmother, my grandfather, even my parents knew how to grow food.
That's right.
Always had a garden. Always had a garden growing up. And not that it gave us everything we needed, but it certainly added the food. You knew the food was good. You grew it with your own hands. There's something about just being able to pick a tomato off the vine.
That's right.
Slice it up and put some salt on it and just freaking eat it like that. Do you know what I mean?
It's a great item.
Yeah, and I think this is a skill that we've lost with modern day, with the evolution of our society.
Tomato plants in your yard are real easy to grow, and they will give you tomatoes for the entire season.
Yeah, people don't understand. You can can your tomatoes. All these stuff. You can make your own tomato sauce. You can grow an abundance of tomatoes and still use them throughout the whole year, like you say.
Tomatoes are one of the most useful. Seriously, if you got just like what you guys said, you got 6 tomato plants. Those 6 tomato plants will do very well for you.
Yeah, I have all different varieties. I got the Roma ones that you make sauce with.
Any of those tomatoes, you can make an heirloom tomato sauce, just as not a marinara or a pasta, but a tomato sauce, a base.
Yeah.
And if you don't use them that week, throw them in a freezer. You know what I mean? And just right from the freezer, right into a pot.
Yep.
Right salsa. From the freezer, right into the pot.
You can make salsa, all kinds of stuff with tomatoes, peppers as well. Peppers are very versatile. Whether you like the hot or the sweet, whatever.
Doesn't matter. Throw them in the freezer. and go ahead and enjoy
Yeah.
them afterwards. So get your
Yeah.
green thumb going. There are one or two plants out there. If you're just gonna think about it, just do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
and it's important. I think these are skills that we need, and again, growing your own medicine. There's nothing, and we spoke. And shout out to our friend Diedrich over there, 860 Grow.
oh man.
Came down to the store. We had a week off, so we didn't get to talk about it. But man, that guy has some really nice, not only plants, but plants.
Right. We were able to add two plants to our, our garden here because at Nautilus we have a couple really cool plants. As you walk in, you'll see a snake plant. We have a money tree. We have a couple alocasias, some pothos, some the large type of grasses. So there's plants that are here, and patients and customers that came in picked up a bunch of plants. So that was
Yeah,
really
they picked
cool.
up more plants. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a he sold a bunch of where he was surprised as well. He was like, "Oh, I didn't think I'd be moving a couple," which we didn't know. We didn't think about that at all. It was just a pleasant surprise. He had a couple nice house plants, and people were like, "Hey, these are exactly what I'm looking for."
Yeah. So, I
So
mean, all these grow stores, I got to give a shout out to all of them. Not only Diedrich, but
that's
Gabe,
right.
and over at 860 Grow, John, I talked to him this weekend at our event. He's got a pretty cool thing going up. I'm going to bring him on the air about home testing for
Yeah,
home growers that he's working on. He said he's not
so
quite
shout
ready to
out to
launch.
our Shoreline Hydroponics,
Yep.
uh, the home grow shop, the our local and orange
Pat
and
and Jen,
pear.
I don't know what they're calling the store right now, but they got a store up there in North
All
Branford.
all of them. We want you all to know that use your right, grow, do what you got to do. Big shout out to the Canna Warriors who are doing their rally coming up as well.
Today, I was going to shout that out right
That's
now, as a
right.
matter of fact. I
Go
want to
ahead,
give a
brother.
big shout out to the Canna Warriors. They were at our event this weekend. We had a nice event. The weather held up enough. It wasn't perfect, but it was enough to have a good event. We had a great time. The Canna Warriors were there. I got to see Christina and all the different Canna Warriors. And they have a rally today. And I walked up to Christina. I gave her a big hug, like a big long hug, and I just told her thank you for keeping up the good fight. Because these guys are out there. It's a tough fight with the legislator. They've become very adversarial and bullying, I would almost say. And these guys go up there. Today they're doing a rally. It's at 2 o'clock. You still have time to get up there if you're close to Hartford, but it'll be from 2 to 4 this afternoon. They have some other legislators who are on our side, but obviously they're protesting some of the bills that have been brought up. And this is the last week of session. I want people to know they're going to be voting on all these bills this week, and that's why they're here there on Monday to go up, make their voices heard. This could be a great day if you're not able to get up there to send an email, shoot a call into your rep. But it's important that these legislators know that we're not going away. The cannabis community is out there to fight. And we're just I don't know about you. I'm sure you are sick and tired of all the regulation changes. Every year is something freaking different. You can't keep up with it. And as an owner, how the hell do you keep up with it?
Um, it's a full time job making sure to stay up with what's going to happen. And we're seeing Texas doing what Texas does.
Oh man, and we're heading in that direction.
Exactly. Isn't it crazy that the Constitution state, the state
Right,
that
where
helped,
they hid the Constitution.
we helped frame the start of this country. You
Right,
know, we talk about the first state, Massachusetts,
right.
but we had all those same players. At some point,
Absolutely.
there were many different proposals of capitals of what the capital of what this nation would be. And we were in those conversations. Hartford was a very prominent area and very influential in the beginning of the
And New
13th
Haven
colony
as a
as New
port.
Haven. And, we were the start of this, and to still be
Yeah, people forget we were one of the originals.
right. And so now to see our laws be so different than a Rhode Island, a Maine, a Massachusetts, the original colonies.
We
We
have
had the
you.
same
Yeah,
founding fathers. We should have similar political views and things, but we also had Hartford, which was, the insurance capital of the world at all of those times. And, they called it the South of the North, where it's tough. And we're seeing this over and over. And we shouldn't be heading in the way of Texas. We should be heading more in the way of Maine,
Maine, right?
Massachusetts. Well, Maine has their own issues as well for the adult use side. Let's always
Because
remember that.
people are starting to, obviously, big corporations, other interests are starting to get in there and want their piece of the pie now.
For adult use.
Yes,
And I spent a couple days with some tax guys here in Connecticut, and they have no idea about the medical side of cannabis because they don't care. There is no taxes.
right.
So if there's no taxes, they don't care about it. So if you really want to force your way, go get a medical card. The state doesn't
Right.
charge for it. You pay a small fee. I've we have a
The
lot of
doctors
friends.
are practically giving away now.
No, let's be respectful. The nurses, they have to get charged. But anywhere
Yes,
between $60 to $100. You can go down to the Grove, get it certified right there at the Grove. You can go
that's right.
to our friend Michelle, our friend
Metatron.
Metatron, like every place. We have given you guys 15, 20 different practitioners on where to get your medical card. And when I mean it'll save you money, I sat and I did the math. Adult use edibles are just about 100 milligrams, and the tax on that is $2.75. So no matter how expensive it is,
And plus the sales tax.
plus the 6% sales tax on top of it, so total tax for an edible, it's the highest taxed item in the state, is about $3.75 for every 100 milligrams. So that would be your one adult use edible.
One pack, right.
One adult use 100 milligram edible. So the Incredibars, the Sound Views, all of them, all the gummies, they're 100 milligrams.
Right.
But you're looking at, you're paying $30. Then you can pay another $3.75 tax on top of that.
Right.
So, get rid of the tax. Go get your license, and you're saving your tax in less than a month over the whole year. You're getting discounted products because now that same 100 milligram edible, instead of paying $30, you'll pay $10 to $12. No
And
tax on top of it.
there
You
are
know?
different products, correct?
Yep.
There are medical only products which are stronger.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, there's a lot of benefits. And I think, with the medical program here in the state that it's in, it's important that people, in order, whatever reason they're doing it for, whether it be to save on taxes or save money or get more potent edibles, it's important people understand that it's something that you should have. You should have, and like you said, the doctors are reasonable enough. You can do it for about $100. The state doesn't charge you anymore. They've made the process easy. There's, there's no reason why, and guarantee, with this new laws they're putting in, if you ever do get pulled over and you flip out a medical card, I guarantee
Yep.
you that will change everything as far as that traffic stop goes. Guaranteed.
It'll change everything immediately, Joe.
Yes,
Immediately.
exactly.
And the way that they're chastising the hemp, they're destroying the hemp fields even more.
Yep.
Even the way that they're like, oh, we'll make hemp fields eligible for whatever.
Yeah,
It's
right.
basically just turning the person into a landlord.
Mm-hmm.
So if they don't own the field, as a hemp provider, I didn't own my fields. I apologize. I didn't own my field as the hemp farmer, so that excludes me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's a tough spot. It's a real tough spot.
Their little tweaks and their little, games. Just because of those three letters, THC, they want total control over those three letters. Um, they totally destroyed, like you said, the hemp industry. We're heading in. They're letting out of state operators take over the market. They're letting
Yep.
liquor stores take over the
Yep.
hemp and THC market. They're making it so people who live in this state, who operate in this state, can't even produce products for this state.
Yep. You'd have to
How
produce for
ridiculous
out
is
of state.
that?
You have to produce for out of state.
And buy from out of state.
Yep.
Now, how does that help our economy?
They just want to keep making it more and more illegal. And that's the next part. Like, if people would triple down on the idea that this is medical and, the activists do go get a medical card, then they're going to say, oh man, now we're not going to be able to get the same taxes out of it because look, we have 50,000 medical patients now. I guess we have to listen to them. But our medical numbers keep going down and down and down and down. And that's what's going to augment things.
Yeah, because now they can use that and go, well, our medical program only has 20,000.
Right. I think that, it might be some time or place that we might do a medical card drive. We'll figure it out.
I
We will
think we
figure it
should
out.
do that. We should. We'll talk about that. Let's figure that out, though. It's
Yeah.
important. We'll talk to some providers.
But
We have
go
to,
ahead and pop on and give some events, kind of go what's going. I'm
yeah.
going to shut my mouth for a couple seconds.
All right. Yeah, I know you want to finish your lunch. All
I'm just
right.
finishing up the little bit of my salad. But I'm here,
All
brother,
right.
and I'm excited. We have a great guest today, too.
Yeah, Laura,
I
I'm
mean,
so happy to talk to her
she is
because,
such a powerhouse in so many different ways. And, I can't wait. And we're trying to work on trying to get her products down here as well. So
and we
it's,
know Connecticut is, you can sell them at a head shop, but you can't sell them in a dispensary. Tell me about that.
trust me, I was facing it. All right,
All
my
right.
brother.
So we got events this week. Today, of course, is the rally up at the Capitol from the Canada Warriors. It's a rally for equity and justice up at the state capitol. It's at 2 p.m. They're up there right now. Again, if you can't make it in person, drop an email, make a phone call to your rep. Tell them don't take the money from the social equity fund. Don't take the money that is supposed to go into communities and put it into enforcement. We do not need a task force to enforce your licensing with smoke shops. There is a better way. We want to free this plant. We want to free it 100%. All right. Also, this Friday, we got Luna Wolf coming down to the Nautilus Botanicals. They're going to do a little pop up for those of you who don't know Luna Wolf. They put out some great products, great CBD products, dog products. I love their dog treats, and they're very inexpensive. She has a great headache relief thing that I've been using. Now with these allergies, with all the pollen out there, she has a great headache relief
She's
roll
got
on.
great products. The state will not let me
Sell them.
specific, which is a me specifically. You can find them other places, but
But they
because
won't
I
let
won't rat
you.
out, because I won't rat out any of the other places, I am the only one who's not allowed to sell them.
Right.
I'm dead serious. That is 100% what it came down to. So,
What a great system we have here.
because I was unwilling to rat anybody else out, I am the only one not allowed to sell them. But we want to make sure she's in shop often so that she can sell them.
Yes, she's going to be a regular guest over at Nautilus. We want
And
to
come
support
in.
Luna.
That's right. Come in, support her, and buy her products because they are good products. They
That's
work.
right. So you can
I
buy
use
them
them
from
every day.
her at
Essential oil.
Nautilus, but
You know,
not from
essential
Lou
oil.
at Nautilus. So come in
Right.
when she is there. You come in, she's there this Friday. You come in, get your dog treats, your headache roll on. And talk to her. It's Men's Health Month. We've got some great events coming up this month at Nautilus for Men's Health Month. We got Takesha Carter coming in. We got Aaron Doolittle coming in. We got Uzma coming in again. It's Men's Health Month. All of our pop-ups are going to be focused on men's health. We got a little something coming up for Father's Day too for the dads, which we'll be talking about next week. But we're going to be, this is Men's Health Month. We are men. We have to admit and own up to that. And we're going to bring in a lot of people who are going, a lot of people, I don't want to say disregard men because, men come off like, oh, we could take care of ourselves. But men need advice with their health as well.
Well, look at us, Joe. We used to
Yes.
take longer, at least the older generation. I'm very happy the newer generation is more in touch. But
Yes.
we've let ourselves wait to the last minute. We wait to take care of everybody else first.
Yep.
We move forward. And, self admittedly, I'm horrible. I haven't been to a doctor in probably 15 years, Joe.
Right.
And,
And it's because of doctors. For
I've
me,
seen more
it's I don't.
prison
But I'll talk
cells.
to Uzma all day,
Oh, yeah, I've
and
seen more
I'll talk
prison
to
cells than I
Lisa,
have doctors
any of
walking through,
them.
Joe.
But the doctors going in that office, and
That office is scarier to me than a holding cell. I'm dead serious. Like when I walk into a doctor's office, I'm like, oh, this is scary.
it's
I'm
like,
at
oh,
a
you're
prison
right. It
cell.
almost is prison.
I got a cop waiting to put me in a
Name?
holding
What's
cell.
your
I'm
name?
like,
Your
I know what I'm doing
insurance?
here.
You
Like,
fill
I
out
know
these
what's up.
things. Oh God,
Left, right, any more tattoos? What do you weigh? What's your height? I'm
I
like, they
don't
ask the same
know.
questions at the hospital.
Hey, our guest is here, Lou. She's laughing along with us. She knows what we're talking about. But we've
We
got
love
here
you,
Laura
Laura.
Boehner.
You know that.
She
Um,
is, yeah,
and when people talk to me, they're like, "Oh, he's so nice." I'm like, "I know," and then I go to jail because I like weed. And back in the
right,
day, I liked alcohol and fighting.
right.
But now we
So we
grow
got
up.
with us right now, we got Laura Boehner. She is the founder of the Healing Rose, which is founded in 2016 and based out of Newburyport, Mass. Healing Rose is an MDAR licensed processor, handcrafting body care and oils using certified organic essential oils, carrier oils, butter, waxes, and herbs. Our team handcrafts every product from raw ingredients to finished product in small batches with love and healing intentions. We are a women led and family owned company, and you sure are now. The Healing Rose come from humble beginnings as our family tirelessly built up our business for the first couple of years. We have plans to be one day a B Corp and make sure to pay our employees well and always give back to our community. Our ethics and morals are the fabric of our company. Welcome, Laura. What a pleasure to see your face.
Thank you for
Always a
having me, guys. I
pleasure.
know some of my oldest friends in the cannabis industry. I love you guys so much. So it's great to be
Oh,
back.
it is so nice. I mean, obviously, I've had the pleasure of watching your business literally grow from a bulb, I guess you would say, into the giant healing rose that it is now.
Yes, thank you. I know you've really seen it from the early days of me like printing labels off my printer and giving out lip balms that had cannabis in them before we went the hemp route
Yes,
way back in the
yes.
day.
I do remember the lip balms. We gave them away at the 420 party with the first year of legalization up in Massachusetts.
Yes, wild. Wild it's been that long. It feels like forever
That's like
ago.
10 years almost.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. And I met you guys in 2016. So yeah, coming up on a decade, which is just
Yeah,
wild. So cool.
it is pretty cool. I kind of love that. But it's nice to see. And here you go. You're a success story of somebody who, I mean, we know a lot of there's all this corporate influence and all these big companies getting involved and all this, but you are a success story of somebody who took an idea from personal experience,
Hmm.
to use cannabis for healing purposes, not to get high and party and all that, although we all do that.
Yes,
Um, you
I do
know,
too.
but of course, that's the other half of it. But you
Yes.
decided to focus on the medicinal and healing part. Tell us a little bit
Hmm.
about the background. I know you had some personal experience with it, and then what made you want to actually take it from where you were to a full time business? Like you literally you're one of the few people I know who jumped in feet first. There was
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
part-time crap here. Let me do this on the side. I'm jumping in feet first. So,
Yes, it's so true. So I went to Northeastern University, and I finished my classes at the end of 2015. And then it was 2016. I kind of just dove right head first into the cannabis community and, kind of like pre-industry days where we had like Women Grow Boston, and
right.
certain things going, but legalization hadn't even hit yet. So I started running Women Grow Boston with Beth Waterfall and a few other women, and created a really awesome community there. And then I
Well, you
also
had your
started to,
meetings. Yeah, you used to have your meetings up at the school.
yep, yes. And I also signed up for classes at the Northeastern Institute of Cannabis with you guys. And I took my classes there, and I was like such an eager student. And I sat right in the
You
front row. I
were.
took all my notes, and I was like, this is going to be like my future.
You were.
And I had gone to like a bunch of West Coast events like Chalice Cup, and those events are really where I started seeing topicals for the first time. Like I was like, oh,
Mm,
bath bombs, what? Solve, this is crazy. I had originally dislocated my kneecap 2009 senior year at basketball.
right.
Right at the end of a basketball game, I was like at the top of the world, dislocated my kneecap at the end of the game, 30 seconds left. And I had been using cannabis medicinally, but no one was talking about topicals. No one was like, it had been mentioned here and there, like in my NIC classes. I started hearing about it really in 2015, 2016. And then I re-dislocated my kneecap that summer of 2016. And it was a really, really bad dislocation. I had a crowd surfer thrown on top of me at like a heavy
Oh,
metal heavy metal concert down in Philadelphia.
ooh.
Got my phone stolen while I was on the
Oh, of
ground. Everyone
all the
thought my leg was
places to get
broken.
hurt.
Yeah, it was the gnarly floor. um,
Oh,
and and I had a solve with me that was supposed to be for menstrual cramps. And I was like in so much pain in Philadelphia at 1 in the morning, with my partner Zach and his brother, and I was like, "Let me put that salve on my knee," and I put it on my knee, and it like honestly, I felt the pain melt away, and I was like, it was a traumatic injury,
yeah,
and
sure.
it
Those
was
things
kind of
swell
like,
up.
yeah, oh yeah, and then my kneecap always goes on and off, and it's like the fifth time I've done it, so it wasn't like the first time, but um, put that on, and it was kind of like that light bulb moment. I was like, "Is this real right now? I'm not feeling any pain in my leg," and I just had a crazy dislocation. It was swollen, bruised, everything, and that was like that light bulb moment of, whoa, these topicals really, really can help with pain in a way that when you consume something like ibuprofen or even smoking cannabis can't
Hmm.
reach it in that same way.
No,
And that
not
was
at
like,
all.
boom, that light bulb moment. I want to take these topicals everywhere. I want everyone to experience this type of relief. Um, and back when we first started, I think there was a lot of skepticism about topicals. And then flash forward to today, I mean,
Yeah, people used to be
it's,
scared it would get them real high or something. If I rub it on me, I'm going to get high, and
yeah,
you had to
yep.
educate people on the blood-brain barrier there.
Yeah, and that we have all these cannabinoid receptors throughout our skin and our peripheral nervous system that these cannabinoids actually do interact with directly. And then also now we're learning certain cannabinoids work with the enzymes in the system. So it's still to be understood of why they work so well. And back in like when we first launched, there was just a lot of people saying, how does this help if I put it on my skin? And it was just through a lot of having people try it out, word of mouth. A lot of our customers come in literally through word of mouth. People just can't stop talking about our products or sharing them with people. And um, today, so for today, where we've grown into a company now that we do seven figures in revenue for the year. We're in over 150 dispensaries across 5 states. And we've got a pretty good direct to consumer business, but then also selling directly into dispensaries with non psychoactive products, which
Right.
is a unique offering in dispensaries. A lot of people go in looking for things to get them high, but it's really about that education of letting consumers and bud tenders and even dispensary owners know that having these products and these options for people want them. People are seeking options that don't have THC in them for relief and wellness purposes, and we're trying to fill that gap.
Yeah, and I think that's important to understand. Like you're based out of Massachusetts, right?
Correct.
What are the laws up there as far as selling CBD? I think you have a really good point. People
Hmm.
go in dispensaries. Yeah, most people think, especially Mass, you do still have a decent medical program up there.
Yeah,
They're thinking THC, THC, I want to get high. But there is a whole segment of the population who would do not want to get high, who
correct.
would rather use it for medicinal purposes. And I
Hmm.
think that a part of that is, I think some of it is we've done a good job of getting the education out there about CBD and about it being non psychoactive to the point where you almost see it over commercialized and oversaturated, if you know what I mean. Like, oh,
Hmm.
if you can, you see these TikTok ads and these things on YouTube, and take this CBD gummy, you'll be able to sleep, and this and that. And now they're doing fake mushroom gummies. But
Yep, it's true.
and you have to understand, if they're mass produced like that, what is, where's the source? What is the quality of this product that you're getting?
Hmm.
And what is the materials? CBD is a huge, I mean, that's a big, all encompassing um,
Yeah.
moniker there. There's a lot of cannabinoids that go under there.
Hmm.
So, you got the Delta 8, you got the HHC, and there's all these things that they're selling out there commercially
Yes.
that can confuse the average consumer, but
Hmm.
they also can affect them in a way that they may not want to be affected. Like, somebody will go in there and buy an HHC gummy thinking it's going to affect them the same way as a regular THC gummy or even a CBD, and it's not. They're completely different highs, and it could be something that really screws them up. They don't like it, or what? Or
I
maybe
Yeah, the hemp space went in a direction I did not anticipate with all these kind of like Franken
yeah,
cannabinoids that,
synthetics.
yeah, and they don't exist naturally, in the plant. So people are, it reminds me of back in my college days when there was designer drugs floating around that were just coming out from
Yeah,
overseas that weren't, like there's a ton of them. There's designer drugs with all different letters and number combinations, and you're like, what are we taking? And it
yeah.
was it was a really sketchy time, and I'm not sure if it's still like that. I'm not in college anymore, but it reminds me of that. Just random acronyms of letters, chemists figuring out if they add this acid and they do such and such thing that they can create this new compound out of it. And
As
I
long as it has the
anticipate,
HC in it, then
yeah,
okay.
yeah, THCO, Delta 10, Delta 8, Delta 11. I've seen those, and there's even more. I swear, every time I see a list, there's new not
But they're
letters on there. New
synthetic,
cannabinoid.
the
Yes,
ones the what
exactly.
I mean, and this is a little education for the people out there. CBN, CBG, CBC naturally derived from the plant. They are
Yes,
extracted from the full
exactly.
plant. They're not added, they are not synthesized through three different levels of
Yes, and those
processing.
are cannabinoids we are really passionate about using too. It's something from day one. I never said we were a CBD company. I always said we were a cannabinoid company because I knew from my education and studying at places like NIC that I was going to be able to access these cannabinoids in abundance one day. And as soon as we started to be able to use things like CBG, so we actually use a certified organic CBD in all of our products, but also a CBG. So finding certified organic CBG that's grown organically, that's processed organically, seed to oil is very hard. And that's something that's really important to us. So all of our products can actually be certified organic only if you have the cannabinoids certified organic. And like the CBC, CBG, CBN, even THCV, CBDV, all of these cannabinoids have such.
THCA.
Yes, yeah. They all have amazing therapeutic benefits, and in combination with each other and all these ratios, we're having a ton of fun with. So we have tinctures that have a rest oil that has CBN, CBC, and CBD in it. We have an uplift oil that has CBG, THCV, and CBD in there, and the THCV is mostly derived from a single cultivar that is, I think it's about, it's like in the about 3% THCV and 3% CBDV in the flower form. Um, so it's really cool. It's very naturally derived. Um, and all those cannabinoids we're finding just have a lot of different benefits to them. And people are looking for that at dispensaries. People don't just want to take THC in the morning. They want like a tincture that's going to give them different effects rather than getting them high. So we're really passionate about that,
Well,
that
this is
stance
about
of,
healing. It's right in your
exactly. Our products
title.
don't get you high. That's like what we're trying to do, is not get people high. That's with all the
It's
different
about
products we're.
healing.
Yep,
I mean, and
exactly.
and this is what I think the entire medical industry and even the mindset of the people has become. It's about healing, not about treating. It's
Exactly.
not about treating your symptoms to make them go away. It's about actually healing the cannabinoid system, getting it. A lot of people don't realize the importance of the endocannabinoid system and what
Hmm.
homeostasis really is. Like, homeostasis is almost the basis of life because that's
Yes.
balance. It is
Hmm.
balance. So there needs to be homeostasis in nature, and there need to be homeostasis within your own body. And obviously the Western diet and just the way we live with all the pollutants and toxins in the air, our bodies get out of homeostasis. And this is
Exactly.
why we have disease and illnesses. And the modern medical industry does not look at that. Like, where is your body out of alignment and where is your body out of homeostasis? Why are you exhibiting these symptoms?
100%.
There's a reason you have this pain, and a lot of it will come down to the endocannabinoid system because that seems to be the thread that connects through all the other systems: the
Hmm.
lymphatic system, the circulatory system, the nervous system. We are a body of systems, realistically. And the endocannabinoid system is that one that keeps it in balance. And that's why it has two different types of receptors: one more for the brain and one more for the body. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
I don't want to call it a miracle drug, but it's a complete a complete medicine.
And now they're learning about even other receptors. Obviously, we have like the TRPV1 receptor, but there's also other receptors that they're discovering too. So the system is so complex and so inherent into how our body runs and stays happy and balanced. And they're just learning more and more all the time that unlock new potentials. So it's really exciting.
And you wonder why humans throughout the ages have been drawn to this plant. It's
Hmm.
we made it illegal. We didn't do it, but the government made it
Yes.
illegal in the 1930s. But prior to when the government stepped in and started making everything illegal, it was not only accepted as on the U.S. pharmacopoeia as a medicine. They used it for cramps,
Hmm.
headaches. They used it for toothaches. It was used for a lot of various things. It wasn't weed rolled up in a joint. It
Right.
was a freaking tincture. It was a
Yep.
topical.
Yes. It's so true. It goes, these are like old school products. It's so true. They were used centuries ago, even
And even
beyond.
before that, in the
Yes,
Chinese,
beyond.
even they
Yes.
they found references to it in the Bible. They say the anointing oil had cannabis
Yes.
in it.
Have you heard the theory that a lot of the reason we have these, autoimmune issues and things that are compromising the entire body and kind of unexplainable, like fibromyalgia, um, Crohn's disease, all these different things could be because we've completely removed all those cannabinoids that like our livestock were eating in hemp,
Hemp,
because hemp was
right?
just totally removed from our ecosystem, that they
Yep.
think potentially those phytocannabinoids that were coming through just our diet by eating, different animals and things like that, removed and those phytocannabinoids from our food supply. So it could have thrown things in whack. Plus the stressors, plus environmental toxins, all these things are adding up. But part of it could be because we made hemp illegal way back in the day. That totally
Absolutely.
took it away from our ecosystem. So I think that's an interesting thing too, because there's so much chronic disease going on that wasn't going on centuries ago. Like, what happened? How did we get here that people are getting
Yeah.
so sick?
We as a society have come to accept it. And this is what really bothers me. We've come to accept poor health, chronic disease as just a part of life.
Hmm.
And it doesn't have to be, like you say, 50, maybe 50, 100 years ago, it wasn't. In my
Hmm.
lifetime, I'm 65 years old. And as a child, I don't remember this kind of chronic illness, chronic disease
Hmm.
going on within our society. And then you even look at pictures from the 70s and the 60s. People looked healthy. You look at pictures from the beach. People looked healthier.
I
People,
know.
because you were eating regular foods, there wasn't out of a box. The
Yep.
60s, the 70s is when all the artificial came in, and we touted it. They touted it, not us. They touted it as such a great thing. We can now artificial, and it was like it was. I don't know. It was a total mindset shift. But before that, we were eating whole foods. We were
Yes.
using herbs as medicine. We were
Hmm.
using what nature gave us. And when this is something I've become very interested in, is almost a second career. But the amount of herbs that just grow out there in nature, never mind cannabis, that we're
Yes.
using maybe even just for cooking, also have a big medicinal value. If you really study and look at what grows out here in nature and even what comes from the earth as far as minerals and things like that,
Hmm.
we have everything that we need here to heal ourselves and to live a thriving type of lifestyle instead of a sick and unwell
Hmm.
lifestyle. It's all been provided for us. And again, I don't want to get too deep, but I appreciate people like you who are bringing it back
Hmm.
to a homegrown business started from literally your mind, your own personal experience that has grown to this size that has helped so many, so many people by opening their minds to natural medicine again. You're
Hmm.
almost bringing people back to where we should be, which is commendable. Which
Thank
is
you.
commendable, you know?
Appreciate that. Yeah, no, it's honestly, it makes me feel I'm living the life I should be by being able to help people and have such an impact on making people's lives just, just better. And that's a lot of their customers, they send so many letters of notes of gratitude and how we can change their lives and make them, be able to just find relief they didn't think was possible, to create products that they can trust and rely on and depend on, makes getting up every day for work just the absolute best. I never feel like I have to go into work. I always feel like I get to go into work, and I just feel really blessed to be able to do what I do with someone I love so much and with such a great team.
Yeah, now let's talk about that. Zach is your partner. You
Yeah.
guys have been together as long as I've known you, so it's been quite a while.
Yeah, over a
And
decade.
you, yeah, and
Yeah.
you are now a family, and you have grown your family.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that. You're just coming back off. You have a brand new addition to the family. What you already had a
Yes.
couple already, so tell us a little bit about that. How you're
Yeah, for
dealing
sure.
with motherhood.
Yes, I have 3-year-old twins, daughters that are keeping us busy. And then I just had our son Hunter 2 months ago. So officially parents of three and under. It's quite busy, but there's so much love, and the twins are so sweet to their little brother, and they love to talk to him and help him and show him toys and stuff like that. So it's wonderful. The balancing and the juggling of it all is quite the act to
Well,
to,
I
to
got to
manage
imagine
everything.
now you're running this business.
Yep.
You're in 150 dispensaries. Now, what states are you in? Speaking
Yep.
of that, real quick.
So a lot of our accounts are in Massachusetts, of course.
Right.
We're close to 100 in Massachusetts, but we're also in New York. We're in a couple dozen in New York State, where we have our hemp license there, so we can legally sell into dispensaries there. We are in about, I think, we're in all the fine federal locations in Connecticut. So I think that's like close to 10 in Connecticut. We're in about a dozen or so in Maine, and then a couple accounts in New Jersey as well.
Okay. So you are multi-state now. You're distributing all
Yes,
over. I know you also. My brother carries your products. Big shout
of
out up
course.
there in Guilford. You
Yes,
want to get
love
your
it.
products, and I do believe down in Milford at the Bohemian High they have your products as well. Do they?
It's been a while since they've ordered, but I should get back in there. But they used
Yeah,
to,
well, I
yes.
mean, there's Lou and I were discussing this. There's controversy. It's nice to see Fine Fettle selling your stuff, but there's kind of controversy about Connecticut right now with the CBD laws. But we'd love to see you in more dispensaries down here, but at least more
Yeah.
head shops and more, places like that,
Hmm.
clothing stores and things like that. it's important, we get the word out. And this is one of my things that I've been really harping on lately because I've been taking a lot of my focus away from trying to change the legislator and fighting laws and all that and
Mhm.
working within the community. And one thing I've realized, and this is something a company like yours really provides, is that within this community, we really have everything we need to take care of each other. Not like literally. We have
Mhm.
doctors who have left the traditional medical community to join the cannabis community and help heal people. We have doctors, nurses, pharmacists. We have people like you who are making medicines. We have accountants, we have lawyers, we have actual farmers with large farms who grow more
Mhm.
than cannabis. We have everything we need within our community of cannabis community. And the good thing about the cannabis community, and I know you go out to events and you see, it is probably one of the most diverse communities out there. And not only that, everybody seems to get along because of the
Mhm.
commonality of the plant. Do you know
100%.
do you know what I'm saying? So if you
Mhm.
look at the cannabis community, if we just started to stop depending on the government and traditional medicine and started depending on each other, we would find that we do have everything that we need and we could take what we have in the cannabis community and spread it out there to the world. And I know that's a big,
True. Yeah. I love it though. It's so true.
it's
It's,
so
it's
true.
this
But I
plant really
got,
bonds everyone together, and also just people who love this plant. It brings like a certain, we have diverse personalities and backgrounds and everything like that, but it does create like a certain humbleness, and like an openness, I think, if you use cannabis enough. It's
yeah,
a beautiful part of it.
and I think anybody who's been helped by it medicinally, and I know me personally, I have, becomes now an advocate.
Hmm.
Your best advocate, your best word of mouth. So the more you can get it out there to the mainstream public and let them know, because I think really people are fed up with the medical industry and being just run around. And Lou and I were talking about this in the
Hmm.
beginning, just run around through endless paperwork, endless insurance, this, that, and the other thing, never really healing, just going from treatment to treatment to treatment, when realistically there's a solution and I don't want to say we have all of it, but we
Right.
can help.
Yes. Yes. It's a big part of it. Yeah, I
we,
agree.
we can help. And I think it's,
Yes.
that's what needs to be spread out to the general community. But I have your website up real quick and I wanted to go
Yeah.
over some of your products. Because what would you say um, would be your best selling product? Because you have a ton. And what I like about your stuff is it's not just straight CBD. You have a
Hmm.
CBD solve with lemon ginger in it. You know what
Yes.
I mean? You have a tincture here, 1200 milligram, broad spectrum. So you got all kinds of different products, and people should really come check out your website because you cover everything. I mean, I got to say, you got bath bombs, you
We do
got
everything
little.
that's which is allowed in Massachusetts laws, yes, because we can't make edibles here or like any kind
Yeah,
of
I noticed that
smokables or
there are
stuff.
no edibles on here. So
Yes.
you basically have tailored your products to Massachusetts law, which makes
Yes.
sense. Now, how does
Yes.
that differ? And here's where we're going to have some fun from the Connecticut laws, because now you're in fine federal,
Hmm.
like you said, and you have to
Yep.
comply, obviously, being in that with the strict Connecticut laws. Do you have to
Yes.
make specific products for Connecticut, or do you make your products overall so that they will encompass the Connecticut stupidity?
Yeah, yeah. So we try to be like as federally compliant so that we work in all states. I mean, since we're in like outside of metric and it's more of like an accessory, um, it makes it a little bit easier. I mean, for Connecticut, I'm not up to date on their most current laws, but we all the
Oh,
products, like
you
for
better.
example,
There's a new one in there
yeah,
now.
I bet. Yeah, we're working in Massachusetts right now on a new hemp bill was just, or it's an all like omnibus cannabis and hemp bill was just introduced by the joint committee last week. So now I'm scrambling and working with bunch of different lobbying groups to try to tailor the language so that hopefully we can make edibles. But they also want to restrict direct to consumer. And I'm like, you cannot tell us we can only sell into dispensaries with like CBD
See,
gummies. Like, that's
that's
it's a
yeah.
killer. And it's a $5,000 a year licensing fee. And so
That's what they're trying to
hopefully,
do here. Make more
uh,
licenses, more and more
I'm like,
licenses.
so hopefully the reps will listen to us. Every time I talk to them about hemp, they're so open to it, and they really are. Like, especially with me, I'm like, I just want to make non-psychoactive edibles, and I'm just over here making topicals. Like, please help me out. So hopefully that changes because right now
We
it's
could be in
really,
Texas.
yeah. Oh my God, I know. I just saw a picture of all the vetoes at the governor's desk. It was boxes on boxes of veto letters. I mean, because all these people are like, please do not take away our hemp industry.
Oh my
But it's also
God.
not surprising. I mean, the hemp industry got so just brazen with it, and people are just pushing the lines, like we were talking about earlier, with all the random
Yeah.
synthetic cannabinoids that
Yeah, it
just
got out of
the bad
control.
actors ruin it for everyone else.
And they're not even focusing on what really, I mean, Texas with all that land could be growing industrial hemp, making
Hmm.
hempcrete, making all kinds of stuff out of it. They've totally, disregarded that whole aspect of it. And that's really the aspect that's going to really make a huge change if we could start using it industrially.
Oh, I know.
But
I'm not sure if you.
with,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead. No, you first. You
Oh,
probably have
I was
more.
gonna say that the governor also was just in a video saying, showing the edibles that they're selling at the stores down there, and it was like cereal bites, and he's like, we don't want these getting in the hands of kids, of course, but like I don't even want adults eating these edibles. Try to eat these and get up in the morning. You will be sleeping for 3 days or something. And I'm just like, what is going on? Does he not know what's going on in the rest of the country? Like. For like
No.
five milligram edibles, he's like, I can't let adults eat this. I'm like, are you seriously trying to police adults like you're someone's father?
Yeah,
Like, what is
exactly.
happening? It's just
I
really,
think they want to take a step backward before we take a step forward. We had
yeah,
Jason on a couple weeks ago. There are some movement going on the federal level, and I think a lot of
yeah,
these states, once the feds lighten up a little bit and maybe deschedule it or decrim it, we'll see a lot more movement in other states. But I was
yeah,
talking to, so we're a good 10 years away from really seeing this all flush out all over the country. We're still in the growing pains in this industry, whether it be
yeah.
CBD or, we got to remember the Farm Bill only went through in what, 2018. So, I mean, it's all still new.
I
And
will
it's
say
true.
that the hemp beverage people, like all those, there's I think like 600 plus brands right now in the space. There's a lot
Can you
of
believe
money.
that?
It's wild, and there's so much money trickling in from like alcohol distributors.
Oh,
So
we
this is
did.
not just like hemp people coming in with all the lobbying money. It's a lot of it is alcohol,
Oh, we know
distributors.
that. We
It's
got our
crazy.
hemp beverages taken away and given to the alcohol industry.
Yeah, that's
So,
not surprising. It's
but we are
frustrating.
almost out of time, Laura. This has been
Oh,
a great
yes, this is
conversation.
awesome.
Tell us a little bit about where we can get in touch with you, how people want to order your
Yep.
stuff online, all that kind of good stuff. Social media.
Yeah, so you can go right to our website, thehealingroseco.com, or you can also type in thehealingrose.co. Both those link to our website, and you can shop right there. We have a live chat option if you want to talk to my team and I through any products, questions, or if you're looking for recommendations. We're right on Instagram at thehealingrose underscore. We're also on TikTok. We're on Facebook. You can easily find us. And if anyone wants to shoot me an email with questions or reach out, we're always here to help or to talk.
And you do wholesale. So if any
Oh,
stores
yeah.
down here want to carry you, any dispensaries, please get in touch with Laura. I will
Yes.
personally attest to the quality of her products. And she also makes some products, suppositories,
Yes.
particularly that you cannot get here in dispensaries in Connecticut. And this I want you to understand, people here in Connecticut. A lot of these products that Laura carries, you will not find anywhere else in Connecticut. And you're lucky
Hmm.
enough to be close enough here to Mass where she can ship them down to you, or possibly maybe even work a drop off a Fine Fellow location or something like that. Who knows?
Hmm.
But you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? There's a way to get it down here, but I encourage people to check out your website, look at all the great products you have. You have such a huge selection and you cover so many different areas of healing that I really want to encourage people to do that. Laura, we got to get you down here to Connecticut one of these days once the kids get a little bit older, and you're
Yeah,
settling in your.
we'll be doing Expo Canna next February. So I know it's a
Okay,
little ways away,
good.
but we signed up for that, so we'll be down there.
All right, perfect. But hopefully we'll get more of your products down here. Laura, we love you so much. Thank you for
Love you
coming
guys.
on. Looks like we lost Uncle Lou, so like, share, subscribe at Greenhaven Media, at Joe the Weed Guy. You can follow us. Harry, hit that music. We're ready to go. Remember, this Friday at Nautilus, we will be having Luna Wolf. And today is the rally up at the Capitol. Go out and see it. All right, Harry, we're ready. Hit that music. Thank you, Laura. TheHealingRoseCO.com. Make sure you check them out. Thanks for all you do and all the healing you have done for people out there. We love you.
Bye, Joe. Thank you.
Bye-bye.